guys, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Jenny, and for those of you that have been following along with our travels, you know that in last week's video, we said that we weren't going to film at all while we were in Seattle. However, we got snowed in, and it wasn't a ton, it wasn't like this wall of snow or anything, and compared to most of the rest of the country, it probably would have been no big deal. But here in the Seattle area, they don't have salt trucks. They use sand on the road instead. They might have plows, but we're on a pretty busy street and we never saw a single plow go by. And the problem is it would snow literally all day, but it would get just above freezing so that like the bottom layer would start to melt a little bit, making everything really wet. And then when the sun set, it would freeze again, making it super icy. So it was really unsafe to travel around. Amanda's work even had like a delay for her one of the days. I had a hair appointment. They called me and canceled because they were closed for the day because of the snow. So it was a really big deal here. And having icy roads is really bad, especially when we leave here, we have to go over a mountain pass. And so that's a lot higher in elevation than the Seattle area, and we just couldn't leave, so we were stuck. However, today it has been raining all day, and it's about 43 or something outside like that. And tomorrow it's also supposed to be in the upper 40s and rain all day too. So hopefully by tomorrow night, all of the snow is melted and we'll be good to go.
Oh, are we filming a video?
Yes.
Oh, so speaking of rain, it has rained almost every single day since we got here in Seattle, Washington. We've been here for over a month now, and we've had 2 days where it hasn't rained. It's insane. I mean, look at this forecast, this 10-day forecast for Seattle. It's just rain, 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 rain. All 10 days, it's forecasted to rain. In a normal climate, it's hard to keep the humidity down inside of an RV, but when it is raining every single day, so the relative humidity is 100%, and the highs are only in the 40s, it is impossible to keep humidity out of the RV without some serious help. Since it's so cold outside, water just condenses on our windows and window frames constantly. I just wiped these down yesterday. And water has even started to collect on the back walls of some of our cabinets. Constant high humidity inside the RV and standing water has us worried about things like rusting hardware, like the staples in our ceiling and in our walls, water damage to the walls, and the worst, black mold growth. And that high humidity inside the RV just creates a general mustiness that you can't get rid of because you can't open the windows to bring in fresh air because it's raining and that rain will just come in through the windows. And even if you were to open the windows anyway, any sort of drying that you were able to accomplish throughout the day is just ruined now because the air that you're bringing in is 100% humidity. Now, the number one thing that you can do to keep the humidity down in your RV is to get a dehumidifier. Now, this little guy has been running 24/7 since we got here, literally non-stop. But unfortunately, a small dehumidifier like this just doesn't really do anything. We haven't really noticed a difference in the humidity levels having this run just by itself. We're still having water collect on the windows and the window frames and in various places around the trailer that we don't want it to. It does, there is a back section that collects water and we have had to dump it a couple times, but it's just not enough. We thought a little guy like this would be able to handle a small space. It's only like 200 square feet in here, but unfortunately it can't. And that's where this comes into play. This beast right here gets the job done. This belongs to my brother Thomas and his girlfriend Amanda, who we're staying with. So, this is actually an air conditioner, and it has a dehumidifier setting, and over the course of probably 4, maybe 5 hours of having this run, it gets dry in here, which is perfect. The condensation that's building up on the windows and the window frames just slowly goes away, and then it's nice and dry in here. But the downside of this, like I said, it's actually an air conditioner that has a dehumidifier setting, so it's not a true dehumidifier. So it air conditions the RV, and it's only 40 degrees outside, so it cools the RV off. And we've got our pets in here too, so we have to have the furnace running as well while this is running. So the furnace and this are like battling each other for temperature control, and we're just shredding through a ton of propane when we run this, so it's not an ideal situation. However, it is better than, say, running the rooftop air conditioner, because this will dehumidify your RV as well, because that's what air conditioners do. As they cool, they also dehumidify, but this won't do it as well as this, which has like I said, a dehumidifier setting, and it also won't cool the RV as much. So humidifiers or dehumidifier is your number one choice. Number two is a portable air conditioner unit that has a dehumidifier setting, and then like your last case, if you have none of those things, is to run your air conditioner. Hopefully, if you have to do that, you're not in a cold area like we are now. We wanted to get, ideally, we would have a huge dehumidifier like this, but we asked all our friends in the area and no one has one, and they cost about $300 to $350 from like Lowe's or Walmart, so it just wasn't an option for us to buy one while we were only here for a month.
Remember when we mentioned black mold earlier in the video? Well, the most likely spot you're going to find that is inside of cabinets. So the best way to prevent that is with things like desiccate packs. We've got this nice big one in here. It's been in here the entire time we've been here, and luckily the back of this cabinet isn't wet at all, so I'm not worried about black mold forming in here. So this just stays in here. I'm nice and relieved. It keeps it nice and dry. Another thing you can do though is don't actually close your cabinets all the way, because if you close them all the way, then the moisture that is building up in that cabinet can't come out when you're running things like our big dehumidifier over here. So if it's left open a little bit, when that's running and the humidity level out here drops down, it will pull the humidity out of there as well. Another small but annoying thing that you can do to reduce the humidity in your trailer is actually wipe the windows down with a towel. Now you might be able to see these windows are actually sopping wet. They're like seriously dripping. There's like drips coming down here. It's sopping wet, and David wiped these down yesterday, so they're already this wet. So what we've been doing is we'll wipe the entire window down, the whole thing, all of the metal pieces in the entire RV, and then we'll go and dry this towel. Luckily we're here with Thomas and Amanda, so they have a washer and dryer, so we can stick this in there. Now if you do this, make sure you don't leave the now wet towel just sitting inside of your RV in order to dry, because that completely defeats the purpose of removing the humidity from inside your trailer. Another thing that we've done is we've used little hand towels down here at the bottom of this big window, because when this window gets too wet, it starts dripping down here onto the desk. And this wood will actually swell if it gets wet, and we saw a spot where it was wet and it was not good. It made us very upset. But again, with those hand towels, you want to make sure that you take them outside of the trailer so that they can dry. And if you don't have a towel or a place that you can dry a towel at, especially if you're in a really wet area like Seattle, you can use paper towels instead and then throw them away, again, outside so that it's not continuing to stay wet in here. Another small thing you can do in your RV to help remove condensation on various parts of your RV is to actually run your furnace or to heat the air up. Heating the air up doesn't reduce the absolute humidity in here, but it does reduce the relative humidity, because warm air can hold more moisture than cold air can. So it helps just a little bit to pull some of the condensation off of windows and stuff, but as soon as it cools back down, it all recondenses right back on there. So it doesn't actually remove any humidity, but it's maybe a small solution for you. And we've actually been heating our RV with this little space heater instead of our furnace when we're in here. It works really, really well to actually warm it up in here. We really like it, but it's not a great solution if you're not going to be spending all day in your trailer. Whenever we go inside and hang out with Thomas and Amanda, we do not leave this on. Instead, we turn this off, completely unplug it, and turn our furnace on for the animals instead, because this whole metal grate right here, if this were to get knocked over by the animals and it were to come in contact with our linoleum flooring, it would probably catch our entire RV on fire. So we highly recommend never ever leaving a tiny space heater on or unattended when you're running it at all whatsoever.
And the last small tip we have for you guys for reducing the humidity inside of your RV is to not have a whole bunch of pets inside of your RV constantly exhaling humid air and defeating some of the purpose of, dehumidifying your air in the very first place. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I'm just kidding.
So as hard as we have worked to reduce the humidity levels in here every single day, we still have problems with water building up in cabinets and stuff. We just found this today, right before we started filming this video, so let me show you. This is a dry paper towel. I'm sticking it in here, and back here on this back wall, it's all wet. You might be able to see, might be hard to see, this whole edge of it's wet. It's not a ton of water, but the wall back there is definitely wet.
Oh yeah, you can totally see. Yeah, this is all
section,
wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the very back of my cabinet, it's wet. And the reason I found that out is because when I was trying to pick what I wanted to wear today, I pulled a shirt out and the side of it was wet. This has been a losing battle over the whole month we've been here. Even yesterday, we were changing the bed sheets on the bed, and back here, behind the bed where it touches the wall, it was wet. And as a matter of fact, it's actually wet again. Yeah, this has been a complete losing battle, and we have been daydreaming for weeks about, you know, the southern desert down near Arizona and Southern California where it's dry and warm and I can wear tank tops again. And we're very excited to get out of here. We have just 2 more days to let the snow melt and then we're out of here. And hopefully this video has been a lesson for some of you if you're planning on staying in a really wet and even potentially cold area and you're having issues with trying to reduce the humidity level inside or the condensation on things. These are the solutions we have, and apparently it's still not enough. So hopefully this helps some of you, and hopefully you guys don't have the same problem that we do. But now we are gonna go and turn the giant dehumidifier / air conditioner on. We're gonna wipe down all the windows, the back of my cabinet, probably check David's cabinet. It might be the same, I don't know. Wipe down behind the bed again. Ugh, it's a big deal. So we're gonna go take care of that right now, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
This thing is actually kind of a pain because you got to hook this big old hose up to the back of it, and then it has to go out the window. But we have to like put towels around it so it's, you know, like sort of air sealed so that, you know, we're not pushing out humid air while also bringing more humid air in through the window. So, you know, we got to fill like a ton of towels. It's kind of stupid, but this is, you know, this is what we have to do. And then plug all that up. Plug this bad boy in.
It's got a big beefy cord.
Yeah, it does. All right. On. Dehumidify.
Dehumidify.
Do your work.
At least it's not super loud.
Yeah.
It just makes it really cold in here.
All right, go get me another towel. Wiping them down.